It is my absolute pleasure to be joined today by author Shirley Burton. She is the author of the newly released book, Misfire, the story of Ginger Phillips. And so, Shirley, tell us about this book.
This book is a lifetime achievement, I think, because after a long marriage, I discovered that there were archetypes, gods, and goddesses, I believe, traveling with me or pulling the strings. And when I got interested in that, I wanted to tell the story, but I wanted a fictional character to tell it, and that's Ginger Phillips. Ginger is a feisty person. She did not understand dealing with a man. So she married Brad because she wanted to know what is he going to turn out to be, because he was such a different fellow than she was used to dating. She dated jocks, football players, that kind of thing. Now, this guy was laid back, very intelligent, handsome, and she didn't know what to make of this, and he really fell for her. You've got to marry me. I mean, after the third or fourth date, he was ready to marry her. I need you. I need you. And this poor Ginger has an awful lot of empathy and compassion. And the last time he pled with her, she said, I cannot hurt him. And his big brown eyes were, kind of sad. And she said, okay, yeah, we'll get married. And so they did. And he was very much against divorce. And she liked that idea about him because she thought he would be certainly loyal. Uh, After a long, long time, I guess you could say, he grew away from that belief. And then things started to happen and unravel. And that's the sad part. But I think readers will have to catch all of that in the book. Um, let's see, I could read you how Ginger met Brad, and it will
Please.
give you some
Yeah,
idea.
please do. We would love that.
Okay. um, just a minute, I've marked it. Oh, no, that's not it. I usually ate breakfast at a small cafe near my apartment. It was a cute A-frame structure with counter seating. The specialty food of hash brown potatoes flavored with Worcestershire sauce was my favorite. In the evening, at the same place, I finished my workday with a slice of banana icebox pie, the best I have ever tasted. It was over pie and coffee that I noticed a rather good looking Tyrone Power type guy sitting alone while eating and reading a book. I thought that I had seen him before. Yes, I had, because he was there almost every time I came in. One evening, he was having a beer and nachos and reading a catalog of classes from the University of Houston. He kept looking at me. Finally, he asked me if I was a student at U of H. No, I said, I work at Tenneco. Do you know of it? Oh, sure. Quite a few people from my hometown have gone to work there part-time while attending U of H. I'm from San Marcos. Where are you from? Ginger said. I'm from Taylor, home of the Taylor Ducks. I think your football team at the Rattlers have beaten the Taylor Ducks many times over the years. I don't suppose our paths ever crossed while in uh, high school sports, since I'm a few years older than you. Um, I replied that we probably do have some common acquaintances. Do you know someone named Carolyn Brown? No, he said, but I do recall some of your football players, like Jack Blakely. He was your quarterback in a game with the Ducks, I believe. Yes, that's right. He was also very good looking. He was older than me, but I used to swoon over him. I was in the Rattler High School band and am an avid fan of football. I bet. Aren't we all Friday night football fans? Well, I must go now. Let me introduce myself. I'm Brad Clark. How about a date sometimes, since we seem to have similar Texas roots? Sure, Brad. I'm Ginger Phillips. Maybe next month, as I'm pretty tied up with work and some other commitments. So long, then. Give me your phone number. I gave him one of my Tenneco cards and wrote my telephone number on the back. My thoughts about Brad took up a lot of my time while working. For one thing, he seemed studious. That's not bad. He was a very neat dresser in dark slacks and a white shirt with sleeves rolled up, several cuff widths. His dark hair and eyes against a tanned complexion were a warm combination. When he got up to leave, I noticed Brad was thin but not too tall. He had a certain aura about him, which I felt. I thought I noticed that he walked with a certain swagger, like John Wayne. I wondered about that, like maybe he had a hip or leg problem. I didn't know it, but the maiden goddess Persephone seemed present in my life of beginning, waiting for something or someone to carry me away. It was a titillating feeling. That's how I met Brad.
That is incredible. And I could listen to you read all day. That sounds like a fascinating
Oh,
book.
thank you. Thank you.
So, what was and we've talked about it a little bit already, but I really want to get to the root of this. Is like, what was the main inspiration for you to actually write this book? The main inspiration, what made you say, I have to write this?
Well, it was curiosity. Do goddesses and gods and archetypes really have more to do with our everyday living than not? I mean, that's people that believe in another plane or esoteric places. Um, they're quite different. You don't run into too many of them every day. But I also got interested in initiation practices, the Elysian fields, some of the things you go through an initiation and you come out rather like a mystic. And all of that interested me because it fits along with gods and goddesses. I mean, actually, we had examples of human nature from these gods and goddesses. And of course, they were wilder than humans. We became more civilized. But it was the curiosity of it. And I like to write, and it's writing that things pop up. And so I just kept after it, and I said it in Plainville, Texas. I've never been to Plainville, so I had to do some research through that part of Texas, and that was fun. So and it was fun keeping up with Ginger. So it is a solitude thing being a writer, but it can be a fun thing when you get these fictional friends.
Absolutely. That sounds incredible and fascinating. It's a fascinating topic for sure. And is
Thank
there anything else that you would like to share with us today about you, about the book, about the message behind the book? Anything else you'd like to share with us?
Well, I'm, of course, some of this book was autobiographical, but it was through the fiction of Ginger that it was told. Um, for myself, I'm dealing with old age, and I may write a book about that because, every day something else changes. And what I looked like, even when I started writing this book, the picture on my cover, I mean, in the last 3 years, I've changed so much, I don't look like that person, hardly. So maybe I should get a new picture. But I tell you, now you might have to edit this out. Noble Works, they're doing a portfolio, and they wanted more than one picture, and I think they have two. So on what they do, you say that won't be a problem, you don't think?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I
Okay.
think you're good. And you look beautiful, by the way. So
Oh,
absolutely
thank
beautiful.
you. My goodness,
Absolutely
I
gorgeous.
appreciate that.
Yes, and very stylish with your glasses. And
I
yes,
try.
absolutely beautiful. So do
Thank you very much.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
Uh, I can't think. Let's see. Uh, if you want to know a little bit more about some of the goddesses that affected me, for example, one that's going to affect Ginger now is Hecate. She's the goddess of crossroads, and that's where Ginger is now. She's on her own, um, and that's going to be a struggle. Maybe the real personality will come out. And the other, I don't know whether I mentioned Hestia. She's the goddess of the hearth. She's a very good goddess to have because she's nurturing and she fixes the home and wants everybody comfortable and fed and nurtured. Demeter is the mother goddess. She's very similar to Hestia. And of course, the goddess that hung around Ginger and Brad, and me too, was Hera. Hera was the goddess of marriage, and she was committed. She was married to Zeus, and he was a roundabout guy. I mean, he had many affairs, and she kept track of him, and she would fuss at him, but they stayed together. And so those are interesting, and each one of them, they have more than I could tell you of characteristics that you run into every day with people.
I think this book sounds fascinating. I think it's amazing that it's fiction, but it's also, autobiographical as well. And
Right.
we recommend everyone pick up this book online, Misfire, the story of Ginger Phillips. It's available on Amazon, on Reader House, online at Barnes and Noble. It's online anywhere books are sold. And so we recommend everyone jump in and enjoy this book. Purchase it today. And Shirley, it has been such a joy to talk to you today, and we wish you the best moving forward with your book.
Thank you, Stacy. You did a very excellent job. You helped me.
You did awesome.